The Unstructured Data Challenge, Managing the 80 to 90% Majority. Introduction. The digital universe is expanding at an unprecedented rate, yet a profound paradox exists within enterprise data management. The vast majority of information generated and stored by organizations lacks the predefined format required for traditional analytical tools to process it effectively. Industry estimates consistently converge on a striking figure: between 80 and 90% of enterprise data exists in unstructured formats, representing a massive reservoir of untapped insight and a significant operational challenge. Gartner, as cited in Athento, 2025, Felicis, 2024, Solix Technologies, 2026. This paper examines the nature, scale, and management implications of unstructured data, exploring why this predominant data type remains underutilized despite its critical importance to organizational intelligence and emerging artificial intelligence applications. Defining unstructured data and its prevalence. Unstructured data refers to information that does not follow a predefined data model or schema, making it difficult to store, process, and analyze using traditional relational databases. Felicis, 2024. Unlike structured data, which fits neatly into rows and columns within relational database management systems, unstructured data encompasses a diverse array of formats including text documents, emails, PDFs, images, videos, audio recordings, and social media content. NEC New Zealand, 2020. Gartner has estimated that approximately 80 to 90% of all new data generated is unstructured. Felicis, 2024, Athento, 2025. This overwhelming majority represents the accumulated output of human communication and collaboration, the records of decision-making processes, customer interactions, design iterations, and expert knowledge that collectively constitute the intellectual capital of modern enterprises. Athento, 2025. The nature and value of unstructured information. Unstructured information comprises the vast majority of records of human communications within organizations, including emails, documents, images, videos, and sensor logs. Athento, 2025. This information is rich in meaning, significance, and nuance, capturing the contextual details and qualitative dimensions that structured databases cannot represent. Organizations invest enormous resources and effort in creating this information. It is the material outcome of most work performed. However, this wealth of insight remains significantly underutilized, with research indicating that only about half of an organization's unstructured data is analyzed to extract value, and only 58% is ever reused more than once after its initial use. Felicis, 2024. This represents not merely a data management failure but a substantial missed opportunity for organizational learning, innovation, and competitive advantage. Historical context and growth trajectory. The dominance of unstructured data is not a recent phenomenon but rather the culmination of decades of digital information proliferation. The landmark University of California at Berkeley How Much Information study, sponsored by EMC in 2000, established foundational understandings of data growth patterns. The study found that a full 55% of the world's digital information was confined to single-user personal computers, compared with only 10% stored in corporate data warehouses. University of California, Berkeley, 2000, Woodman, 2000. This early recognition of decentralized, individual-generated data foreshadowed the current challenges enterprises face in managing information distributed across countless endpoints and platforms. The study also documented that digital information was driving the data boom, with traditionally non-digital items such as books, music, films, and medical records rapidly migrating to digital formats, and that 93% of information produced annually was stored in digital form. Woodman, 2000. IDC projects that 175 zettabytes of data will be generated worldwide by 2025, up from 33 ZB in 2018, with unstructured data growing at 3 times the rate of structured data at annual rates of 55% to 65%. Athento, 2025. Data creation patterns and organizational responsibility. A critical insight into unstructured data management concerns the sources of information creation versus the responsibility for its stewardship. The Berkeley study revealed the democratization of data, the vast amount of unique information stored and created by individuals, with original documents created by office workers representing nearly 90% of all original paper documents and 56% of magnetic storage residing in single-user desktop computers. University of California, Berkeley, 2000. This disconnect between creation patterns and management accountability creates significant governance challenges. Employees generate unstructured content both in their professional capacities and through personal social media engagement, creating data that organizational systems must protect, store, and manage against compliance legislation. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025. The fragmentation of communication tools further compounds these challenges, as data lives across countless platforms and formats that resist unified management approaches. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025. This reality demands that organizations develop sophisticated strategies for identifying, classifying, and governing information regardless of its origin or format. The data storage and management challenge. The financial implications of unstructured data proliferation are substantial and growing. The 5th Annual Comprise State of Unstructured Data Management Survey revealed that 85% of IT and data storage leaders project increased data storage spending in 2026, with 74% storing more than 5 petabytes of unstructured data, a 57% increase over 2024. Comprise, 2025. 40% of IT and storage leaders reported storing at least 10 petabytes of unstructured data, equivalent to 2 trillion songs or 10 trillion books. Comprise, 2025. These volumes impose significant infrastructure costs and management burdens, particularly as organizations struggle to implement effective classification and governance. The top technical challenges for unstructured data management identified in the survey include classifying data for AI 58%, moving data without disruption 53%, and reducing data risk from AI 62%. Comprise, 2025. These challenges reflect the fundamental tension between the value potential of unstructured data and the difficulty of extracting that value while maintaining security, compliance, and operational efficiency. Challenges in unstructured data analysis. The inherent characteristics of unstructured data create significant analytical barriers. Unlike structured data, where schema definition and data modeling occur before data storage, unstructured information requires advanced techniques for processing. 2025. Modern machine learning methods can now detect objects in images, understand actions in videos, and classify complex legal texts, making it increasingly feasible to automatically understand unstructured information. 2025. However, there are major challenges in deploying these techniques, executing queries efficiently given the expense of ML methods, expressing queries over bespoke forms of data, and handling errors in ML methods. 2025. ML models can be orders of magnitude more expensive compared to processing traditional structured data, and the methods to accelerate analytics can be error-prone. 2025. The heterogeneity of unstructured formats spanning text, images, audio, and video further complicates analysis, requiring specialized tools and techniques that differ fundamentally from those used for structured data. Managing unstructured data through policy and automation. Effective management of unstructured data requires a strategic shift from reactive, manual processes to proactive, policy-driven approaches. Data Center News Asia Pacific 2025 reports that this transition demands not just visibility into data assets but the ability to act on that insight consistently across all storage environments. Automation emerges as a critical enabler, allowing organizations to orchestrate the movement, storage, and governance of unstructured data across their environments. By embedding automation throughout the data lifecycle, organizations can apply consistent policies based on access patterns, content type, or age. For example, automatically moving files that have not been modified in a defined period from high-performance Tier 1 storage to more cost-effective archival platforms. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025. This policy-driven approach enables organizations to balance strategic and operational priorities while demonstrating alignment with regulatory compliance requirements. In the Australian context, these requirements include APRA's CPS 230 Operational Risk Management and CPS 230 for Information Security, which mandate robust control over data assets, and the Security of Critical Infrastructure SOCI Act, which places obligations on operators of critical assets. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025. These regulatory frameworks underscore the importance of structured, automated approaches to unstructured data management. Unstructured data and artificial intelligence. The relationship between unstructured data and AI presents both significant opportunities and substantial challenges. AI tools and applications rely heavily on unstructured data for training and inference, with examples ranging from fraud detection systems analyzing customer emails and chat transcripts to healthcare AI processing physician notes and medical images, and e-commerce AI sorting through social media comments and reviews. Comprise, 2025. However, the same characteristics that make unstructured data valuable, its richness, context dependence, and heterogeneity, create difficulties for AI systems designed to process structured information. Research highlights that unstructured data is produced at exponentially higher rates, and while ML methods have become increasingly powerful at analyzing it, challenges remain in efficient query execution and error handling. Kong, 2025. The strategic importance of unstructured data for AI readiness is reflected in enterprise investment priorities. Comprise's 2025 survey found that 40% of organizations will increase their IT budget to pay for AI, with 58% creating internal task forces of IT, security, legal, and other stakeholders to develop AI strategies. Nearly half of organizations plan to add staff focused on developing the AI foundation, hiring engineers and developers with AI expertise. Comprise, 2025. However, a significant gap exists between ambition and capability, with classifying and tagging unstructured data for AI identified as the top challenge in preparing data for AI applications, increasing from 41% in 2024 to 56% in 2025. Comprise, 2025. The greatest concern regarding generative AI is security, particularly corporate data leakage, cited by 46% of respondents. Comprise, 2025. The top skills gap identified is AI data management at 62%, compared with 43% in 2024. Comprise, 2025. Emerging solutions and best practices. Organizations are developing innovative approaches to unstructured data management that leverage AI capabilities while addressing governance and security concerns. Effective strategies involve implementing unstructured data classification, which survey respondents ranked as the top strategy to understand data for storage optimization, data governance, ransomware defense, security, and AI curation needs. Comprise, 2025. Future requirements for unstructured data management include data classification and tagging 61%, analytics and reporting 60%, and sensitive data detection 57% comprise, 2025. Automation also plays a pivotal role in supporting AI and machine learning initiatives by identifying data suitable for model training or inferencing and moving it to the correct storage tier, accelerating time to insight and avoiding pitfalls of training models on poor quality or irrelevant data. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025. Conclusion. The reality that 80 to 90% of enterprise data exists in unstructured formats represents one of the most significant challenges and opportunities in contemporary information management. Gartner, as cited in Athento, 2025, Felicis, 2024. This overwhelming majority encompasses the qualitative, contextual, and human dimensions of organizational activity that structured systems cannot capture. The decision-making trails, nuanced risk assessments, customer insights, and expert knowledge that constitute true competitive advantage. The challenge lies not in the existence of this unstructured information but in its effective management, analysis, and deployment. As organizations increasingly recognize that their unstructured data assets are critical to AI readiness and strategic intelligence, investment in classification, governance, and analytical capabilities continues to grow. Comprise, 2025. The integration of AI-powered tools with policy-driven management approaches promises to unlock the value of this information reservoir, enabling organizations to leverage the full spectrum of their data assets. Data Center News Asia Pacific, 2025, Kong, 2025. The data management strategies of the future will be defined not by the ability to structure information but by the capability to extract value from the messy, rich, and fundamentally human content that constitutes the overwhelming majority of organizational knowledge.